Sure, when. Do we want the door open or shut?
Hey guys, how's it going?
So you're cool with that? You're cool with me? We're live?
Yeah, we're live.
But that's okay.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, hey guys, how you doing?
Okay, and so welcome to the first stream of 2018 for PlanetSide 2.
Starting it off right.
Oh, with the unstable stream.
Not only unstable, but late as well.
Well,
Slightly.
a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We had to get things just right. With you guys today, or with us today, is myself, Nick Silva, producer of PlanetSide 2. We got Paul Jadjo here, he's programmer on PlanetSide 2, and Rel, game designer on PlanetSide 2. We might have a visit from some other team members too. Just before we get kicked off, I wanted to remind everybody that this weekend is going to be the members double XP weekend, so subscribe to the game and get access to that double XP this weekend. And that'll run starting Friday at midnight, or all day Friday and all through Sunday.
Yeah.
So 3 days of double XP. Also, during the stream, we're going to be giving away some station cash. Or not station cash, Daybreak cash.
Daybreak cash.
And so it'll work like last time, is if you are active in the chat, it enters you automatically into the raffle, and you can type whatever you want. You can say something nice about Rel or about Paul, and that gets you automatically entered, and maybe gives you a little bonus towards winning.
It certainly boosts our egos.
So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the changes that went out to PTS recently. Some of the changes that will be coming to PTS hopefully later today. That includes Koltyr VR. We'll talk a little bit about why we're making those changes to Koltyr. An explanation of why we're calling this the Unstable stream, and our upcoming patch is going to be the Unstable game update. There's a system called Unstable Warpgates that we're going to talk a little bit about today. We're going to introduce a new team member. We're going to go over the details of the Nanite Appreciation Sale, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we're planning on doing in 2018. So did you want to talk a little bit about what's going on PTS right now, Rel?
Yeah, actually, so you got PTS up on yours, right?
I do have PTS up on mine.
Cool. So why don't we, do you know where the construction bases are? Or the new?
The new locations?
Yeah.
Yes. I can't quite get to them really fast.
Okay, well,
because my admin commands are not working today on PTS for some reason.
Okay.
Well, you can
anyway,
head over
let's switch over to Nick's screen anyway, just so you don't have my face in your face. So recently on the PTS, we have added a number of different bases to every continent, every playable continent save Hassan, and they are meant to be not only capturable by vehicles, but also allow you to build construction around these open field capture points, and that allows us to integrate some more vehicle play, and construction play into the core loop.
Give players who really enjoy those sorts of combat and play styles a chance to contribute to the capture point, and chance to try out different strategies. Do we hold off on capturing until we built up something more defendable? Do we try to surround it? Do we try to make a backward a forward base and a reserve base and stuff?
Actually, around so we've seen this concept around Econom Biolab a lot, and there's vehicle capturable points, and there's a lot of room to roam and fight amongst one another, and it's actually played out really well. So we're extrapolating that concept a little bit to the other continents, and Hassan will probably get them at some point, but Hassan's a little bit cluttered right now. So outside of that, we made some adjustments to, Liberator has default afterburners on PTS right now, and there were some resistance changes to tank cannons for the Harasser, and a handful of different changes. Galaxy got a new defensive slot, and a bunch of other stuff. Just jump on PTS. You can go check that out. Doku LMGs are a big one. Those are new and fun, and the audio is going to be broken in our next update because the audio team is still working on it, and they've come up with some pretty cool stuff so far. So we'll be injecting that as soon as possible. Cool. What else? Koltyr VR?
Yeah. You want me to talk about Koltyr VR a little bit?
Sure.
So, we've been hearing it from a lot of players that they're not exactly super stoked on hanging out inside of VR training while they're waiting to queue up for continents. And Well, we definitely hear you guys, and but we still think it's really important to maintain the population balance on the continents to keep the fight fair, or as fair as possible. So, in an effort to give you guys something to do while you're waiting to get onto one of these continents and participate in the meltdown alerts, is what we've opened up Koltyr to everyone. So you don't just have to be battle rank 15 or below now. Everyone can get in there, and we've implemented VR rules in Koltyr. And we've also turned off friendly fire in Koltyr.
Right.
So it's a different game experience now in there.
So you can take any of the weapons that you normally find in VR, which is pretty much all of them, and then just go run around and shoot your enemy factions.
Those are available for you to try out in VR, but now you have a more combat-oriented situation to try them out.
Yep.
So, like VR, you can equip whatever weapon you want, try out a bunch of different implant strategies and that sort of thing, and see if there's some guns you want, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Shooting at moving targets is always better than shooting at the stationary ones. So that was Koltyr VR. What else do we got? I guess that was pretty much it for PTS. Unstable Warpgates.
So that's the big thing we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So we have a new way, or a... Sorry, you go ahead.
Well, okay. All right. So can you switch over to my screen here? Thank you very much. Okay, so on a locked continent, well, normally on live, you'll have one main continent, usually, and then if the populations go past a certain threshold, it opens up another continent. Unfortunately, on that second continent, you sometimes have... Your audio's up super loud.
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It sometimes creates a state where there's a lot of ghost capping going on. There's small groups of people just really dominating the entire thing, but not actually really fighting anyone or having good engagement.
Yeah, there's too much map for the population count on those continents, and also it's usually like an overflow population, so it's usually really imbalanced as well. So what we are doing is we are on these off continents. We have created a system which we call Unstable Warpgates, and it limits the amount of playable space, and also disables your ability to trigger a meltdown alert, which is another thing. Yeah, people are getting just like free ISO and free items and whatever else during these alerts where you couldn't really contest anyone.
Where no one's fighting back.
Yeah.
So not fun. It's
whack y'all.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
So when a continent unlocks, it will go into this unstable warpgate phase, which, as you may see, is a much different...
I'm gonna just like, bam. Oh, disconnect from server. This is fine.
So as you can see, while it's still up, the center region is disabled, and only the outer lattice is available. So it's a straight line towards each warp gate from each warp gate. So it really lets you focus on like a war on two fronts as opposed to a war on the entire lattice.
Right. And we've designed the system in such a way that we can set any sort of pattern, any sort of configuration we want, and that allows us to, so if it wasn't just going to be the outside lattice, and also we've made some accommodations for a continent like Azamir where everything's just kind of jacked up. But we can make everybody fight to the middle. We can make it so there's multiple different paths and that sort of thing. And it allows us the opportunity to give servers like, say, Briggs, who have a lower population count in general, the ability to fight. I mean, even if it's not in an unstable state, we could just
it allows them to focus the combat and let each population size work well.
Right.
We're exploring options in the future for how we might utilize this new technology, but we've set it up in a way that is as flexible as possible and gives as much power to the designers as we can right now.
For sure. Actually, one use that I think the competitive crowd will really appreciate is that we could, for like lane smash tournaments and that sort of thing, we could set up certain lanes that are just like that's all you get to fight over now. So it completely fits the bill for what you're trying to do with the competitive events, without having to go around to all the different territories and flip these ones and then do an arbitrary rule set that says no, don't touch these, they're not in play. We can make it super obvious, and hopefully that'll be
so the way the system functions right now, and this should be going to PTS if it's not there right now. It'll be there by the end of the day. The way it functions right now is when a continent unlocks, it goes into this unstable phase where the center is disabled. and after about 2 hours, it stabilizes the warp gates, and that opens up the entire region. A disabled zone, it's captured by the None faction, which was fun to implement. But more specifically, you can't spawn there. You can't use any of the terminals. It's, for all intents and purposes, dead area.
Is it worth talking about what a None faction is? Because that's not a thing. Like
Right.
there was a Nanite Systems faction, but it didn't play nice.
Right, yeah. So we one of the things that was required for this was to have the region and the facility that's in that region not captured at all, captured by no one. A lot of the stuff in the game was set up with 3 factions in mind, and only 3 factions ever. So some of the code that was done for it was to expand that out and make it play nice. There's still some stuff we're working on, so you might notice some bugs. As always, please let us know about those through the proper channels so that we can be aware of all the things that are available to fix, so we can focus on the most important ones.
It's still a work in progress. So
So do you want to pop it back over to?
Yeah, so it looks like Rel's screen is all set for it now.
yeah. So this is the lattice on Omrish here, and again, just doing the one lane thing. But that's not what we have to do. It's just what we're doing right now for this unstable continent in particular, and also it just gives us a lot of flexibility. Actually, these two should not be. That's our fault. We'll fix that. And also you can see the. I'll quickly just run through some of the new bases here. I'm backtracking. Sorry.
It's okay.
So Solus Nature Annex, SNA, was became a construction base. So the construction base, I'm not going to show all of them, are a singular point inside a capture field or inside an open field, and which you can build construction on top of.
Do you set the daytime?
You don't like night?
There you go. So it's a big capture point in the middle of this area that lets you use some of these hills as cover, build some cover yourself, maybe a resupply station just behind the corner or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. We tried to choose locations that allowed you to either made it easier to progress down the lattice, had an open area, obviously, and it was kind of balanced on the lattice, so that the locations of the bases, when you get a default state of roughly 33% continent control for each faction. So that's that. And what are we moving on to next? That was unstables, but do you want to?
Why don't you show the stabilization? Like I said, after about 2 hours, it'll stabilize, and then.
But there's another sort of condition that'll stabilize the warp gates as well. It's not just on the timer.
Right. Right now, that's what it's functional on PTS. But before we launch, we're going to set it up to be based on population. So once it reaches, as you see now, the entire lattice opens up, and you're able to fight in all the places.
All the places.
There was this really cool state that the system was in, or I guess it still is.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys are developing it in the debug version, which has a crazy low frame rate.
Yeah. It's much slower. It's not optimized, but it lets us get in there and look at what's going on as it's going on. So I'm super happy to see it pop really quickly, because on my screen it's like tut 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 tut.
Which
but it looks cool.
It looks really cool. So we're going to look into having a more cinematic stabilization, as it were, where it just takes a little bit longer and looks real cool.
Yeah, it's the little things.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, the plans are to have, when it stabilizes, be based on population, and have a small countdown if we get that in time to let everyone know. But it'll not be based on time. It'll be based on population.
Right.
Cool.
Do we want to go any further with that, with the pre-meltdown stuff?
We can talk about that in a little bit later in the stream.
I'm thinking that it might be worth holding off on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Exciting things in.
Yes.
Let's go ahead.
There's plans.
In the works.
Plans.
Cool. Let's go ahead and do the first raffle. So Roxy, if you will, I guess give them a chance. If you haven't typed something in chat, you should do it now because that makes you eligible
Just
for
anything.
the raffle.
Anything.
Typing
Bang
anything.
raffle.
Let us
bang
know what
raffle.
you're excited about. Let us know who's best dressed.
It's me.
Just type something in chat. Stay positive, and you will be entered into the drawing, as it were.
Yeah.
And shall we introduce one of our newer team members?
Mm-hmm. We can do that now if you want.
All right. Why don't you come on over?
So you're leaving us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just need to talk about that.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you.
All right, bye for now,
Did I
guys.
blow out your eardrums? Was that? Did I blow your eardrums out?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Just burnt them a
I
little
was
bit.
concerned.
So, everybody,
Hello.
this is Garrett Brush,
How's it going?
Yes.
the programmer on PlanetSide 2.
We've been hiding him since October.
Yes.
Yes, from the public. Right. So yeah, Garrett Brush. You are a new programmer. Started in October. I'm stealing your thunder a little
That's
bit.
okay.
Who has actually? Well, yeah. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about
Oh.
yourself?
Well, I got hired on at the end of October. Pretty much started right on Halloween. Got to see everybody dress up for that.
Yeah,
That was
I forgot
actually pretty
about
fun.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Paul went all out.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
He was what, Ghost Rider?
He was Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
We didn't share any photos of that, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, I think it might have been on the Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. It was a deal. It was a
Anyway.
deal.
Yeah, new programmer. I only graduated from UCSD in June, so fresh off the line, I guess.
Yeah. No,
But,
you haven't had any programming jobs prior to.
No.
No. It's
No.
just fresh out the gate. Snatched them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And,
been
I mean,
a lot of
it
fun.
was that. There was like 100 applicants, or almost 100 applicants for your position, and so Garrett rose to the top. And
Yeah.
so far he's been proving it.
So San Diego native.
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I've lived in San Diego my entire life. So
What do you enjoy doing here?
in San Diego,
Yeah, I mostly just spend time in my room.
in your room.
Yeah,
Okay.
playing games.
No,
Like,
I do
that's
not.
it, so.
Well, okay, I can't say that. I do like to spend time in my room,
Okay.
but most of the time, if I can get out, I like to go rock climbing.
Rock climbing.
That's my sport. So
Cool.
keeps me active, keeps me happy.
Yeah.
But it's a good challenge.
And what do you play in game?
Oh, what I play in game. Oh boy, I am an NC Bolt driver.
Bolt baby.
Oof.
Bolt baby.
I'm loving it.
You
Yeah.
are the weapon.
No, I've been really investing myself in the infiltrator class. I really like the cloaking. It's pretty fun. But snipers, I think, are where I find a lot of home. It's more. I'm not very good at it, so don't praise me or anything like that. I'm terrible, but I really like the one shot, one reward. One shot, one headshot, one kill sort of thing. It's like it's a rush.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Yeah. No, and I think sniping is probably more difficult in our game than probably some of the other first-person shooters.
Yeah, I
with
like-
just the bullet drop and everything. We actually making an effort. Plus, you have the serpentine.
I like the
Yeah.
cloaking versus cloaking mechanic when you have a sniping war going on between two.
Oh yeah, you're waiting for the other guy to pop out.
But you want to be cloaked,
Yeah.
and then you have to time your
Correct.
decloak
Yeah.
and make sure you have cover to get
No.
behind so you can recharge your cloak. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like a completely other level of the game is going on the on the edges of these battles.
Yeah, that's fair. So we got a winner for our first Bang raffle.
Yeah, can you pronounce that?
Echelon.
Echelon?
Yeah.
We'll just say it that way.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats. What'd he get?
He got 10 or 1,000 daybreak cash, I believe. Roxy will
What'd
have
you
to
get, Roxy?
confirm.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
You want something?
Yeah, he wants something. Winning anything.
What are some of the systems you've worked on?
So far, mainly been working with vehicle and the squad spawning aspect. That new feature with like the squad logistics, that was a lot of fun to work with. But recently, been working on exposing new weapon mechanics and things kind of under the hood, as well as working with Rel on the new fire team features that we're helping
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't discussed it too much, but we're definitely making some significant changes to how squads work and fire teams and eventually outfits later on down the pipe. But Garrett has been doing a lot of stuff that honestly goes underappreciated. You wouldn't even notice it. Things like there was a bug where if you for squad spawning, right?
Yeah.
You had to be the squad, the owner of the vehicle, instead of just any person inside the vehicle, and you had to be the driver as well in order to spawn into that vehicle, and it's not like how we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So doing some changes there. You know, it's the small stuff that you never hear like after the fact. You just see it in like a little bug fix line, and that's it. Even though it took us days, right, to knock out some of that stuff. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff like that.
A lot of stuff that flies under the radar. But you know, being a brand new programmer in the industry, taking on the smaller tasks, I think it's a good learning experience. I get to touch my fingers in all sorts of little things.
Yeah, actually, the code base in general is a behemoth. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the fact that Garrett's able to jump in and like figure it all out. Same thing with Zach Antoine. You know, just able to dive in there. Yeah, anybody that we've recruited to the team has been just like on it.
Yep.
On it. Yeah, and you'll probably see another team member next stream.
Yep.
I think so.
Sometime soon.
Yeah, sometime soon. Okay, so that's Garrett.
How about we do another raffle?
Another raffle?
Yes. I'm raffle crazy
You're
now.
behind
No,
the
I'm not,
raffles. You're
I'm
making
not
up.
behind.
Raffle. Okay.
So
Yeah, we only have so much money, Nick.
So yeah, whenever you get a chance, Roxy, go ahead and run another raffle. And then let's go ahead and sounds like there's some questions about it, and let's talk a little bit about our 2018 roadmap. We're making some improvements to the meltdown system.
Yeah. Do we want to? Okay. I can't see chat right now. It's probably just being spammed.
Okay.
So we're not going to have, are people going to listen? Are they going to understand? Yeah, there's like this awkward silence. Like, don't do that, Rel.
Yeah.
So anyway, for 2018, what are we working on? We are working on new player experience.
Yes.
First and foremost, we really want to get at least a new tutorial in that completely replaces. Chat is spam. Got it. Thank you, Roxy. Yeah. So we are going to do a new player tutorial. At least that's the goal. I mean, it's been 5 years, and we've only gotten one that was done by one designer at the time, and it's a little bit aged.
Oh yeah.
It's a little.
I mean, it was better. It was better than what was there before.
Which was nothing.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Yeah, I would say yes. But now?
No, that's what I was. You're talking about the.
Oh.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay. Then yes. Okay.
Oh well.
Yeah. Goodbye, Garrett.
I guess I'm leaving.
Goodbye, Garrett.
Goodbye.
It's the Unstable stream, everyone. Feel free to get your punches and jabs in now.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And a dank pineapple won the second raffle.
Yeah.
Just gonna put
There's
that out
only
there.
420 of those.
Pineapple, best fruit, at least fresh.
Okay. Well, I don't eat fruit.
I don't want to make any enemies, but it's just a fact.
So yeah, we'll be making improvements to the meltdown. One of the things that I think will be getting better about the meltdown system is the look of the Bastion fleet carrier.
Oh, is this supposed to be something where you're trying to segue into?
I'm trying to segue.
Okay.
Can we get it on Marshall's screen? Oh,
so Bastion Fleet Carrier has actually, so one of the community members, we contracted him out, Steve-O, and you've seen some of his work in Player Studio on armors and helmets and that sort of thing. We contracted him out to fix what was basically a husk of a broken nothing model. It's currently in game, but so when the meltdown hits, right, everything, the content's going crazy, we blur the screen so much and keep the bastions way above the flight ceiling, and we make everything
Illusions.
it's just illusion, so you can't see how bad it is. Now it's like a thing. It's an actual Bastion fleet carrier. We only have the screenshot because the NPC is not set up currently, but we'll show you some in-game footage at some point.
Thanks, because we were flying around it yesterday in game, and it's something that we don't feel ashamed to allow players to get up close to now.
Yeah, or
Yes.
even stand on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and potentially you may be doing that at some point. At some period in some future.
In
Yes.
some
yeah.
some timeline.
Okay.
And speaking of timelines, we were just talking about the roadmap for 2018.
Right. Yeah. So new player experience was the first.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say the first, because we're doing some other things.
One of the things that we're looking to improve is the new player experience.
Of course.
There's a lot of things going on in PlanetSide, and there's a lot of things you need to know about. I think maybe there's too many things, so part of what we're doing is trying to streamline the tutorial system and make it so you get as much information as possible, and we ignore stuff you don't need, and then possibly have alternate tutorials later for some of the more advanced stuff.
Yeah. So the ideal would be like one tutorial that covers the basics of what you need to know. Also, hopefully integrate some lore into it, and then do like modules for the specific elements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the work that I've been doing has been expanding the scripting system that PlanetSide uses, Lua, the scripting language, to our implementation of Lua, I should say, to give as much power as possible to the designers so that they can create these new tutorials in addition to the stuff that we're using it for now. Things like making it so that we can schedule scripts in the future so like, for example, the 2-hour timeline that we have right now for the temporary version, at least, of Unstable Warpgates, that's run by just putting it into a scheduler and having the script run later. But this would be useful for things that would be available in the tutorial later. Just today, I put in some functionality to change the faction of a particular NPC that we spawn, like the Bastion fleet carrier. I should say it's over.
Yeah, it's around.
Anyways,
it's
so that we
in the air.
can have them be styled to each faction.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of the expansion is the idea is to do it for what we need now, but also make it available in the future for more things we could use.
For sure. And as we continue to kind of move through this process of setting up tutorials, or even just working on any of the features that we're working on, like Bastion Fleet Carrier, like we kind of assumed that we would have the ability to change the faction ID of an NPC. Not so. So like adding things like that is kind of, it lets us find all the holes. Yeah. Yes. So we talked about tutorials. Talked about let's see some of the meltdown changes that are coming. Well, okay. So meltdown alerts. I just want to cover this real quick. Is on live from personal experience, about 2/3 of them are not as like tense and as climactic as they probably should be, and a lot of that has to do with just ones on off continents is not helpful at all. But also the double teaming is, some people really enjoy it because it's like it's a holdout and everything else. But I think in the scheme of things, there's changes that need to be made, and
there's more interesting things we could be doing with it.
Right. Yeah. But it was a good learning experience regardless, and I'm glad we did it. And like we mentioned prior, in the streams past, we were completely able to pivot to a different alert type, and that's something that we're going to be doing in the future. Namely, I think we're going to be going back to the 3-faction, like sort of winner takes all alert. And do you want to?
Sorry, would you mind switching back to just to give them something else to look at? 'Cause
yeah.
No, it is a nice model, but
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So we'll be doing some meltdown changes for the actual alert itself. So winner takes all. They'll get the reward, and then the continent will lock. We will do. We'll talk about that probably later once we're a little bit further along.
We can talk about at least things we want to do. Obviously through.
Okay. You really want to talk about it, don't you?
It's so cool.
Okay, fine.
So again, the developer disclaimer. There's a lot of things we want to do. Some things have to get done first, and they might not all work out how we want to. Such is the state of game development. One of the things we were talking about doing was having these sort of events run between stabilization and meltdown. Have sort of a period between that, like that's like Warpgates charging or pre-meltdown or something like that, where we would run various events that would sort of change the game a little bit.
Yeah.
In a small way, but really like kind of shake things up a little bit, for the winner of which will get a benefit for their faction.
Yeah.
That'll help them lock the continent.
We should probably back up a little bit more, because I didn't explain this during when I was rambling about meltdown. But hives are going away as part of triggering the meltdown alerts, so it'll be just territory based. But the reason that hives existed in the first place was to not only add some value to the construction system, but also throttle the turnover time.
Mhm.
Turnover.
The pace.
Yeah.
You know, if the continent gets
Yeah.
locked really quickly, there's not likely to have been much interesting conflict going on
Right.
there. So being able to slow things down a little bit, or at least ensure that there's a certain conditions are met before we can.
Nice. Nice.
Sorry.
Killing it.
Certain conditions are met before we give the ability to lock the continent.
Yeah. So because we're removing hives, we need a new way to throttle how quickly a continent rotates. Because, yeah, like Paul was saying, there's probably not a whole lot of fun fights that have been happening there. And also, we want you to have like the sandbox time, to spend on that continent and start to become attached to it. And these new, I mean, we don't really have a name for it yet. Pre-meltdown events, like
Charging. I don't know. It's still being workshopped, as it were.
I'm partial to the turning points.
Turning point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
so
one.
when the warp gates are charging,
Mhm.
so in the state after the continent becomes stable.
Stabilized. Yeah.
Yeah. While the warp gates are charging, you'll have these turning points, which are small events that are the alerts that Paul was talking about. So it could be something like your faction wants you to get air superiority over the continent, and because of that, they are making it so ESF are just free, free for the next 30 minutes or whatever, and you have to go at it and just try to get as many
So
air
that
superiority
way,
kills
like
as you
during
can.
that particular event, air combat is focused. So the
Right.
players who excel in that will get a chance to shine. Players who maybe haven't tried it out will get a chance to like quickly send their ships up into the air and be able to like not really have much penalty to do that.
Right. Yep, because
Things
trees
things
are
along those lines.
trees are a very dangerous
They
hazard.
are. They jump out at you.
I know. You have no idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those controls joysticks are really tough.
Do you play with a joystick?
No.
Okay.
That's
all
the
right.
problem.
Oh, I see.
I am terrible at flying, so this
yeah.
would give players like me a chance to learn how to fly in a
Exactly.
reasonable way.
And actually, just for that particular example, that's something that's been asked for a long time. Is like reducing the cost of ESF and that sort of thing. But having a system like this, just throwing out like fun little events, allows us to change the gameplay for a small period of time, and it also helps us like progress through a continent. So if like VS won this alert, like they get this sort of bonus, like maybe then it's
maybe a discounted,
like a discount,
like something themed towards that or
right.
something.
Yeah,
we'll see what comes out, but
right. Yeah, all sorts of alerts could be random, different each time, shake up the experience. But again, we also want you to have the sandbox play, so they're not going to be like in your face nonstop. It'll be a fun thing that happens every once in a while.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to move on to some of the other stuff we're focusing on in 2018?
Sure. Okay, so immediately coming out after this would probably be squads. Like we've already dipped our toes into it a little bit. The squad system can certainly use refinement. It can use tools at sort of it needs a little bit of both. And the some of the things that we're working on. Thank you, Paul.
sorry.
No, that's not even for Nick's eyes.
No. It's
yeah.
too secret.
So.
So
what was I even saying? Jesus.
You were talking about like squad changes and
Yes.
outfit changes. Because one of the biggest things, at least for a lot of our players and for us, is playing with your friends, playing with a group, and really enjoying that which makes PlanetSide unique. This massive scale and all this crazy like coordination and everything.
Right, but we don't make it super easy to join a squad.
No.
We don't let you know what's going on while you're in a squad. There's just waypoints and
Things
smoke
going
and
all over
yeah,
the place.
yeah.
It's pretty tricky to figure out what's going
Yeah.
on, even without voice chat.
Right.
If you have voice chat, then there's just all sorts of loud people yelling at you.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
night.
yeah.
So-
yeah, there's some bad experiences.
Enabling players to be able to join these squads and work with the outfits and do all sorts of like coordinate better as part of the inherent game.
Yeah. So some of that comes with cleaning up some of just how squads are displayed. So either reducing the amount of markers. Actually, I should probably not. There was contention about some of these changes last time. But we want to as a start, implement a mentor squad system, so that new players, once they join the game, they are kind of ushered toward these new squads, or mentor-driven squads. So those squads in particular will be easier to understand. There will be just less mechanics in general, and also hopefully the leadership of those squads will be incentivized to, or they'll just be the sort of the players that you want to have like teaching new players. And there's a few ways that we'll do that. Outside of that, let's see, squads being able to, so beyond the mentor squads being able to choose where like mission areas start, or like make requests for like an airstrike, or sort of like create little macro or minor missions.
Yeah, having squads be able to interact with the higher ranks and the higher, like the platoon leaders and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, even just like across the map, like if I'm at this base or whatever, and I want air support here because this is what we need. Like if my squad
we're getting
is
crushed by the air, we need air defense.
right. Yeah. So being able to create those sorts of callouts is something that we want to get in the game as well. And I know that was I remember years ago. Like way back, this was something that was spoken about, and I think it was supposed to be integrated into the mission system. But we are essentially just going to leave this in the hands of players, sort of how there's current like defensive markers in the game and like attack this point markers, but we want to add some more some depth to that.
Some incentives to follow them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably reveal more once we're a little bit closer to that. It's still a ways out.
But yeah, like I said, the goal is to get players, enable them to engage in that sort of social play, engage in that sort of coordination, and really make the things that make PlanetSide unique, have them shine.
Is that my character sitting in there?
What do you mean?
Who's like?
Oh, there's
that?
someone. Oh,
Shoot
hello.
them. Shoot them.
No, that,
Okay, I don't know who that is. Okay. What are we doing?
So that's pretty much all we can talk about for our 2018 plans. We have more than we're talking about, but they are secrets.
Well, okay. What about the outfit stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I can touch on outfit
we can
stuff.
talk about the outfit
yeah,
stuff.
and that's probably the most nebulous at this point, to be completely honest. We've like, I was talking with Nick today and kind of just riffing with him about like what are some of the things that we should be focusing on with outfits, because there is like at least three different design documents and just different ways to handle this sort of thing. But ultimately, we want outfits to have progression. We want outfits to be able to, and also with progression, we need to make sure that the small outfits aren't just being cut out of the picture. So there's a kind of a balancing act that needs to be done there.
So giving as you log in, you say, all right, well, what's my outfit been up to? How can I help contribute to the outfit? Having it be this maybe social hub, because a lot of the reason I play multiplayer games is to play with my friends. There's tons of single player games I can play, but the reason I play these games is to work with my friends. So we're trying to enable players as much as we can.
Yeah, we want to incentivize communal goals.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something that just doesn't exist right now. Outfits in our game currently are just they're like a big friends list is what it comes down to. And we want it to be something more because there's a lot of potential depth that we can explore there. So yeah, progression for sure. Management of, we also...
Well, I mean, we can, yeah. So possibly expanding the number of outfit ranks that you have to give players more.
Yeah, there's plenty of quality of life stuff that needs to go in.
Lots of things we're investigating and that sort of thing.
Yeah, this I think we pretty much covered it with the squad play stuff.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. And then there is secret stuff.
Yeah, we can't
that's
talk about
that's what Paul wrote down was secret plan.
He wrote
he literally wrote secret plan on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Sorry. But no, it's true. There's some stuff coming late in 2018, and it's too early to talk about.
Feel free to speculate all you want.
Yeah. No, I feel like we've been super vague with this, like trying to get into details. Yeah,
we can't really.
Yeah, it's
fine. I think it's fine for at least for this stream to be as vague as possible.
Okay, well that's fine.
I know I want to tell you about them, but we want to make sure it's done correctly and that we're not getting anyone's hopes up.
But and that's the thing. Like we'd rather you be like pleasantly surprised with changes that come rather than making too many promises that we just can't.
Yeah,
keep.
I mean it's January. We got all sorts of time
to break promises.
Yeah.
Actually, dynamic region system was like a year ago. Like we promised.
Yeah.
And interestingly, a lot of the work that was done for the Warpgate stabilization stuff, we can reuse a lot of that stuff, like disabled regions and that sort of thing, and making sure they're playing nicely in that. and having the UI handle them properly. Dynamic
Exactly.
regions kind of
Somebody
flows really
honking.
well into that.
Yeah. There's someone outside the base here.
Shoot them.
Okay.
I
Shoot
mean,
them.
take them out. Yeah, so that's kind of what our plans are for 2018,
Okay.
at least at a high level.
Yeah. Let's see. What else have we got going on? What do you think, Nick? Should we have another giveaway?
Yeah, let's do one more giveaway.
Did you find the guy you need to shoot?
No.
Is that him?
No, he's on my team.
Well, that's probably the
Well-
guy you need to shoot.
I don't think it's him though.
Hey, we don't condone friendly fire on this stream.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. Problem solved.
Did you want to? Did we get a chance to show off the LMGs yet?
Well, that's one that Nick is using right now, actually. And these, so this is PTS, right?
Yes, I'm on PTS.
Yeah. The next iteration of these are going to go out. Actually, the NC LMG is probably getting a name change. Not sure what it's going to be yet. You feel free to suggest names in the comments. It's yeah.
Or on Reddit or something?
Yes.
But
What else?
it won't be ballast.
No, Ballast is it's nautical themed, but the LA1 anchor, which is where it's kind of riffing off with that, is like Liberty Arsenal makes that weapon, and so it doesn't really make sense for Ballast to be one that comes from a completely different company.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of PlanetSide lore focused around companies and what types of guns they make,
and there will
everything.
be more PlanetSide lore.
There will be more.
Yes,
lore.
actually, I think you'll be very pleased to hear that there will be more PlanetSide
Yeah.
lore.
So you were talking about some of the stuff Garrett had worked on, things alluding to what we're talking about. He was working on some of that stuff.
I mean the relic system.
Oh.
Wait,
are we
hey.
talking about it?
No,
Sorry.
We're not
No.
allowed to.
Yeah, there's
I don't
I didn't
know what
say
you're talking
anything.
about there. I'm
yeah. Okay. What else? Do you want to do a giveaway, Nick?
Yeah, we did one.
We did one.
Destruction X won the raffle. So congratulations,
Congratulations.
Destruction X.
Like Destruction X is in Des, like
the realm
As in D3
system.
Destruction X.
no, like D3.
Destruction X.
Hey, I'm gonna check Discord later. Des. Okay. All right. It could be somebody else.
Oh
but,
no! Don't stab him.
um,
No, go ahead, stab him. That's good. So let's take some questions.
yeah.
Yeah, we'd be happy to answer some questions.
Is
Stay
there-
positive, stay on topic.
Stab him.
You know, if you have any questions about
Yeah, knife fight.
our newly debuted programmer
Do it.
or
Oh boy!
Fail.
oh wow.
Get wrecked.
I had an aggressive feeling about that guy.
Yeah.
This one's cool. He's cool.
This guy seems
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Questions. Weapons after LMGs. Thank you, whoever asked that. Battle rifles next, or marksman rifles, or
Ye-
whatever. Yeah.
It's marksman rifles, right?
Yes. I mean that's not a real thing in the game at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
do we talk about the spawn system revamps?
No, I'm not
Surround
gonna.
it.
It's a little too. It's just too technical right now, and it can go on forever.
So yeah, so I think we've pretty much covered a lot of what we want to do. I mean, these
Yeah.
are big goals. These are big, broad categories, and we're going to see how much we can accomplish in each of these things.
Can we get a cam for Nick's shirt?
Hey, I've entered the task for for the artist to work on.
Camo.
So there will be a camo for my shirt.
Tropic
eventually.
camo.
Yeah, something like that.
Araxium Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Reasonable question.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous shirt.
Yes, I mean I think it's very important.
I don't think it's ridiculous, but everyone's allowed their own opinion.
Yeah.
Any chance of new vehicles?
I wouldn't put it out of the question.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
There's a lot involved with creating a new vehicle, not only
Yeah.
technically, but from a balance perspective. And
Yeah, it kind of depends, I think, at this point. Like the art and the role of the vehicles are the major hang-ups. But again, it's not out of the question. There's definitely a lot that goes into it, but if it's worth doing, like if it's something that seems like it's fun, exciting, then we totally jump on that. But yeah, no plans at the moment.
And then there's a question here about PS4 updates. But so our intention on PS4 updates is now that we've got the implant system implemented on PS4 is to keep it as close in step with the PC version of the game. So when we do major game updates for PC, we're hoping to do the major game updates for the PS4 at the same time or like very close.
Yeah,
in step.
unfortunately, the systems aren't as in sync as we'd like, so we're trying to get them closer. We're trying to, obviously we care very much about our PS4 players. We want them to experience as much of PlanetSide as we can give them.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to harp on the construction system drum a little bit, just with PS4?
Yeah, talk about where we're at.
The question always comes up, like, when is PS4 getting construction? When is PS4 getting construction?
So we've continuing to run tests, and we're trying our best to make improvements to allow for the construction system to come to PS4. But like almost every test that we've run just shows that the PS4 can't handle the amount of NPCs that are required for your just average, not like small base that usually causes the PS4 to really just sort of chug. So we're going to continue trying to come up with other ways. But really what's going to end up happening is if we do bring construction to PS4, it's going to be in a fundamentally different way than it is on PC.
Yeah.
And so we'll end up with the same problem from the development side.
Changes to specific things you can construct, maybe limiting it a bit more, maybe trying to see if we can get some optimizations from
so
other
things like
projects
turrets are a huge
performance hit.
Yeah.
So we're not willing to take it off the table. It's still on the table.
It's something we want. We know you guys love construction and want it on PlanetSide. PlanetSide 4, PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
All day I'm going like, oh yeah, well I've been working on PlayStation 2. Yeah, PS2. Yeah.
Okay. Faction-specific implants. We came up with the concepts of them. Those were kind of explored, and right now there's no plans to implement them. They're kind of just on the back burner. Not saying that they're not going to appear, but they also don't get us a whole lot at the same time. So we're cool.
They're fun, but getting stuff that is specific to each faction without being very unbalanced or being too difficult or whatever. It's tricky. I mean, we're not taking it off the table. There's stuff we want to do at some point, but for now, we're focusing on some other things.
Yeah, would rather not push out implants just for the sake of pushing out implants. Yeah,
we want them to have some sort of positive effect other than just diluting the implant pool. That's not what we want to do.
Right.
So.
As Nick rubs his hands together with the money that's okay. So any plans to combat Zerging? That is such a loaded question. Yes. A lot of the you have to understand how Zerging happens in order to
understand some of the complexity of
I mean, understand that there's no thanks Roxy. Understand that there's also no silver bullet to dealing with this problem. We are planning on making some spawn adjustments, and that'll hopefully help reroute people. Same with platoons, kind of focusing like calling in different missions and pushing people to different areas. It's just a bunch of, it's more like death by 1,000 cuts. That's how you kind of kill Zerging.
There's no silver bullet because players are erratic, and if we made it so that if there was way too many people or unbalanced fights or something like that and players didn't get XP, people would still do it. It's really hard to focus players and incentivize them to do things that the game benefit from.
I think the very last note on it is there are ways we can combat it, but they're very heavy-handed ways that we can combat it. And we want PlanetSide to. One of the great things about PlanetSide is just how open it is and allows players to really do what they want. And so with that, we would take away one of the greatest things about PlanetSide too if we were to be heavy-handed about how we combated the Zerging problem. So.
Yeah. Additional events for holidays. Valentine's is not getting one. I'm going to spoil your fun right now. But the Valentine's Day crossbows will come back, and you'll get titles from using them per usual, as well as the hearts camo, the extremely obnoxiously bright hearts camo. That'll be coming back as well.
Maybe like a St. Patrick's Day holiday where all players, their vision gets blurred, and that wouldn't be.
I think we have a teen-rated game.
That's a good point.
Well, it could be. I mean, you could probably get away with it.
But additional events for the holidays.
No, that's other
events.
All holidays that are not Valentine's Day.
None that we have planned for right now, unfortunately. Just the usual.
But that was a lot of fun last year, was to make improvements to the existing holiday events. So we don't have anything slotted into our schedule right now, but
it is a long year ahead of us, so we will see how things shake down.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming to the stream today, and we're going to be doing more of these streams throughout the year, and yeah, see you next time.
Look
Wow, that was
forward
quick.
to
What?
seeing you
Oh,
guys.
the stream was quick?
No,
No,
that
no,
was
the
ending.
Oh,
Like,
Thank you, everyone, for joining us at PlanetSide 2, and we'll see you again next time. I'm
That's-
Paul Jajo, signing off.
I like that one better.
Okay.
Kill it.
that's pretty good. Thanks, guys.